What's going on? If this is your first time tuning into a video, my name is Alex. I have been a digital media marketer for 7 years. I started when I was 14 years old and have been doing it since. It's something that I am very, very passionate about and very excited to continue to share as much value as I can with you guys and help you grow and scale your business. So I don't want to waste any of your time. I want to get right into this video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a cold outreach strategy that I've been using for the last year to help me book consistent meetings that get consistent positive interactions, positive replies, and overall just build genuine connections. Because one thing that I see a lot of people lack in their cold outreach is authenticity. So I want to help you guys build a foundation to do just that. I'm going to go through this entire document that I have built out, as well as provide you guys with some resources that I've built. At the end of this document, it will include all the links to that, which I will put inside of the bio of this video. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Cold prospect to client, how to get people to actually respond to your cold outreach. And I would be going over, as mentioned, as you saw in the title of this video in the thumbnail, a full cold Loom strategy that you can use step by step. It's completely customized, something that I've built and I think will be really, really helpful for you guys. But let's go ahead and get into the value. So lead gen on social media in today's client is made up of 4 separate pillars. And those 4 separate pillars are outbound leads, inbound leads paired with a free resource and a conversion funnel. To start with inbound leads, that is when leads are coming into you, they are finding you. And this is typically done, and the most powerful way to do it is on social media with a personal brand. Now, with outbound, that is when you are going to bring clients in. You're looking to find these prospects. So if that's cold outreach, like what I'm about to show you here, or doing paid ads, anytime you are going to bring in clients, that is outbound. And when you pair those things with a conversion funnel, so for example, properly optimizing your profile so the viewer's journey goes from never knowing who you were to fully understanding who you are and knowing that you are an authority in your niche, then having that funnel set up will do that. And there's multiple ways that you can set up your conversion funnel depending on the type of business that you're running, because everyone, again, is different. I specialize in social media. So if you're here, you're likely growing on social media. But there are so many different kinds of conversion funnels. There's so many different kinds of cold outreach strategies, but we are going to be focusing on what I believe is the most powerful of them all, which is social media paired with anything. All right, so now just to quickly touch on the free resource, that is something that you will be providing to any of these prospects to let them know that you actually want to provide value and you actually can provide value. It's just to prove your competency, which is also done throughout the content that you've been posting and you should be posting already. One of the quickest, basic, low entry ways of getting clients in any business through outbound, but that does not mean that it's the easiest. And the reason why is because you're essentially just reaching out to random people asking for their money. So it puts all of the risk on them to even talk to you. How do you change that? Don't make it about you. Make it about them. People see right through the facade that most entrepreneurs are putting up nowadays. So you need to provide genuine value. And this is something that I just want to touch on quickly. I see so many people, and one of my favorite quotes to refer back to prove this point, or to further it, is that people can see a front, but they feel authenticity. And I feel so much of a front from so many people that I get outreach messages from people that post content. There's no genuineness in the value that they actually want to provide. But to continue, when I began my agency, I did a ton of reverse engineering on what was and wasn't working for others. And I noticed that although cold outreach can be really effective for some, it had so many factors that played into whether or whether or not someone even replied to you. Because when you're reaching out to people, your profile might be the first thing they look at. They might just respond to the message. There's so many small details that you need to pay attention to, and you kind of need to be a perfectionist to truly master this kind of system for it to work effectively, I should say. I wanted to minimize these as much as possible, so I created the system which I currently use, which allows me to not only increase the amount of warm leads that I get, but also send out the resources to those warm leads 10 times faster. I have an entire custom system built with Go High Level, which is a really cool software that I'll touch on a little bit more throughout this video, that allows you to send every single lead that wants your service a video that will tell them about it and get them to book a call with you. And that's essentially the whole Loom strategy that I'm going to be breaking down how you can use most effectively. Approach cold outreach this way, and I promise you will never receive a negative reply again. Before we dive into the system, I want to go over some of the core concepts that make it work so well. My reasoning for this is because there's so many different cold outreach strategies. I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, and this is exactly why I built out this section inside of this doc. I know not everyone will be able to or want to manage the system I'm about to show you, which is fine. You should do what works for you. But these are the 3 core principles I maintain while executing outreach, and they are as follows: authenticity, transparency, and value. It's very simple, yet these are the 3 things most people lack in their outreach and why they get negative replies, no responses, or even blocked and reported, whatever it is. And again, it's because there is no transparency, there's no value added, there's no authenticity in their message to show the person you actually want to help them. It's just, hey, do you want this? This is how I'm doing this for other people. You should pay me to do it for you. You need to position it differently. Everything in what you do, in your branding, in your messaging, and just your overall identity is all about how you frame it. So you need to frame this a certain way too. When you're doing any kind of outreach, it is known that you are trying to sell them. So immediately the risk is on them to even engage with you. That's why it needs to be flipped. The key to success in sales is to give, and then you ask. You want to position yourself as an educator, not a salesman, as someone who genuinely wants to add value, but format your value in a way that makes them want to pay you to do it for them. So if you kind of get what I'm saying here, what you need to do is actually say and actually provide value, give them systems that they can use, not vague things. But what you need to do is position that value that lets them know, hey, I've been running this system for a while. I can run it really, really well. I want to give it to you, but if you need help, I'm here. And that's exactly the framing that you want when you're carrying these messages and when you're carrying out all of these workflows that I'm going to show you. Now, when you approach it this way, even those who don't buy still support you. And in an age where social media is so powerful for growth, the more engagement, the better. I've had so many people, I've seen so many messages where they'll say they're not interested in the service or that's not the right time, whatever it is, but they love the value that I provided them. They appreciated it. So they're going to either follow me, they're going to continue to engage. And I've signed people from those kinds of experiences, from them reaching out to me a long time ago and then it not being the right time and then them coming back. It's all about how you are genuine in what it is. And I'm not even referring to just this agency. I just mean in general, in every business venture I've ever been in, it's all about how genuine you are. Now you understand how to improve any outreach strategy. Let's get into the one that I used to land my first client as a service-based business. Now, I've got an entire mural breaking down. It's pretty simple, but I'm going to go ahead and just break this down even further for you guys. So here's what's needed. You're going to need Go High Level, which this is optional, but this is what's going to power the system that I'm going to provide you guys with at the end. There's a whole training on it that I've recorded videos for that will allow you to send out all of these videos so much faster. But the two things that you will absolutely need is an outreach manager as well as a conversational workflow. Now, this next step to this whole system is to qualify the prospects that you're actually trying to reach out to. You need to have some sort of criteria. And the people that are going to be doing this are either the VAs or growth specialists that you hire. Now, just to tell you the difference between the two, a VA is someone that you will find at a much lower cost, but is likely going to be located somewhere in a different country like the Philippines. That does not mean that they are any less qualified to do the job. If you provide them with the right resources and actually show them that you care, they will be phenomenal for you and help you in ways that you weren't expecting. I've worked with absolutely amazing VAs, so in no way do I want VAs to seem as a lesser route. But what growth specialists are, and the reason why they could be advantageous, is because they're based in whatever country you're in and have a much better understanding of your business. So you don't need to provide as much tutorials or as much hand-holding for them to do the job as effectively. But to dive into how it's actually done, first you're going to have the conversational workflow step number one. You need to have as I mentioned here, conversational workflow. And what that is step-by-step what the person is going to be messaging to these prospects. It doesn't have to be exactly. If you're working with VAs, then it should be. But if you're working with growth specialists, it just has to be a framework that they can go step one, step two, this is what I need to stay with. Now, what I typically tell them to do is when you're finding these prospects after you've qualified them, engage with them a little bit. Let them know that you actually are looking at their page and not just found them, sent a message. Because when you do that, it just, again, comes across as not genuine and there is no authenticity behind that. So I also say here, make a note of something about them. Like actually pay attention to what they're talking about. So when you're messaging them, you can bring that up if need be. And then the next step is that first message. So here's one that I have provided you guys that you can use. And this is just that first initial, when they're clicking on it, what are they going to see? What is going to get them to open the message? There are so many different ways to go about it. So I don't want you guys to look at this one as the best first message to use. Test many different ones. Test ones that you haven't seen before. Try new things and figure out what works best for you specifically. I'm going to include this link inside of the doc so you can use this and go through it and copy anything that you need from here. Now, the next step, you can go about this two ways. If you're doing this with a small to medium scale, then you can just be upfront and ask them if you can send them a personalized video where you will actually give them some sort of free audit. Or if you're working with growth specialists, and again, they have a much clearer idea of what your business model is and they can continue a natural conversation by themselves, Then just continue the qualification. So, ask them where they're at in their business, what specifically they're looking for, and then push them to hop on a call directly. Because if the growth specialist is trained well enough, then they'll be able to word around where they won't need a direct video from you or anything like that. But the video is so much more powerful because you're actually showing them your face, you're showing them a strategy, you're showing them that you're personalizing it to them. So it's so much more authentic. But it can be a lot more time consuming, which is why I have small to medium scale here. The system that I've created though, and the system that I'm going to break down for you guys, is going to allow you to execute this 10 times faster. 10 times faster, and I promise that. So let's continue. The warm leads will then get sent to your pipeline. I personally use Discord, so I just have my team send whatever leads that we get into a channel that I've created, and it just has their name, the link to their Instagram, a little message as to why they think they're qualified. So I have everything that I need, and then the Loom system begins. Here is the entire cold Loom outreach strategy. The process is as follows. First, you're going to want to make a copy of this outreach tracker, and again, all of this will be included. And what this outreach tracker does is just that. It tracks your outreach. So you can put all of your prospects in here, the URLs to their Instagram, the link to the Loom video, the date sent. This is typically going to be used by your VA or growth specialist. And then this is also a coded out section where anytime you type in, so the number of sent, say you've sent 30 leads, it'll actually track the percentages, because tracking data of what you're doing will allow you to make the proper angles. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more in a second though. Now, once you've made a copy of this, you're going to want to add your warm leads name and profile URL to those first two columns, so that is saved in there, ready to go. And then the next step is recording the evergreen VSL plus a 30-second personalized introduction for each prospect. And then the third step is to stitch these two videos together, plus add your calendar link at the end of each video via Loom, which is this entire strategy, how it's powered. Then you want to just add that link to your outreach tracker, send it to your VAs or your growth specialists, and then they will go through, take the link, send it to the lead, and it will continue from there to push them to a sales call. I'm not going to leave you with just that though, if you thought that was it. So let's dive into each step a little bit more. First things first, the outreach tracker. The reason why it's so crucial, again, is because you need to be able to track your data. You must keep track of your view rate, response rate, view to book call rate, etc. All of that. You need to understand these numbers so you can make the proper changes when needed. And second, the evergreen VSL and the 30-second personalized intro. Here's where the magic happens. Your goal is to keep the viewer engaged throughout your video and under the impression you're there to just give them a free audit of their business, because in this video, you actually are. To master this, you'll use a combination of a personalized introduction combined with a pre-recorded VSL full of value and a call to action at the end. The personalized introduction is super simple, but it can be a very tedious task if you don't understand how to do it properly. So here are a few methods. All you want to do here is show them immediately that you're actually personalizing this. So whether you pull up their website or social media, just make sure that their face is actually on it. From there, introduce yourself, thank them for letting you send them a video, and let them know that you've created something for them that you'd like to share. And that is literally it. You just want them to know, hey, I have some value for you. Let me know if I can send it over. You're not trying to be pushy here. If you'd rather not record a new video each time, you can simply screenshot the page of each lead, crop out an introduction that isn't personalized, and then add that screenshot behind yourself cropped out, and then you can just export that video, and it's so much faster. But that's a little bit more advanced. I do it in Premiere Pro. If you can do it, then I highly recommend it. But if not, then just actually sitting down and recording that 30-second intro. It'll just take a little bit longer, but it'll also allow you to actually say their name, which will genuinely make it personalized. Now, the evergreen VSL. The beauty of anything evergreen is just that. It's evergreen. So these only need to be recorded once every few weeks. The goal is to add value to the warm lead by auditing their business and giving them your system, but in a way where they'll need your help to execute it properly. This positions you as the educator and gives you a ton of leverage. Your tone on recording should not be, here's why my system is so good and you should pay me for it. It should be, here's a system I think could really help you out. Just wanted to break down how you can apply it yourself and see if there's any way I can help you out. Because again, you want to just maintain this energy throughout, whether you're doing the outreach yourself when you're messaging them or while you're building the systems. How can you maintain that feeling to the prospect so they're also feeling it as well? People see through the BS and know that you just want to sell them, so just be as honest and authentic as possible. I think if there's one thing that I'm really trying to just drill at here is authenticity, so I just want to say that again. The simple format for a properly structured VSL is as follows. First, you want to open up with a case study, obviously let them know who you are, thank them for letting them send you a video, but then you want to let them know who you've worked with and that you actually can provide them results. Then you kind of just want to simply break down your system. So just say, here's step by step. I'm going to dive into each one a little bit further. And then from there, you actually do dive into each one a little bit further, give them a little bit more information on how each part of the system is going to work. And then you wrap it all up and have a call to action to a booked call. The last part is to stitch and add the calendar link. This is the last part for the whole video creation process. And then you just take the link and it's done from there. Here's where you're putting the final touches on your masterpiece. After you've recorded the evergreen VSL and personalized the intros for each prospect, you're now going to edit a few things within Loom. If you don't already know, Loom is a recording sharing software that is, it's really helpful, but the premium plan is $10 a month. So the free plan, I'm not too sure what the difference is between the two. I would just check that out for yourself. But the premium plan, I'm pretty sure, allows you to get rid of all the Loom branding and then also add links to it. It's $10 a month. It's worth it if this is a system that you're going to be executing nonetheless. But here is exactly how you go about doing the system. So first, you're going to want to trim and stitch the video. Once you open up the Loom editor, all of this will be really, really easy to do. You'll see it right away. Click trim and stitch, click add clip, and then you're going to want to add your evergreen VSL into this Loom, and then make any necessary crops. So if at the beginning you go and you click off the recording, then just make sure to crop that out. And then lastly, you want to edit the link and then add your calendar so they can book in with you. So there's a button that says edit link, just copy, paste it in. You can either have it playing throughout the entire video or just at the end of it. And then that is it. From here, it's as simple as pasting the link to the video into the outreach tracker you provided, then having your VA growth specialist send them out via whatever platform you message them on. If you use VAs though, I highly recommend building out a few assets for them inside of Notion to use as guidelines. Here are some that I have used. This is what I provide them with, and it's just, again, it helps them a lot. Having prospect criteria, so who are we even reaching out to? Easily followed conversational workflow, so this is literally how you message the prospects. An FAQ of commonly asked questions. You'll know exactly what they are as they start messaging people, but just so they don't have to constantly be asking you, hey, what should I say? What should I say? And then also some how-to tutorials for anything that they'll be doing or executing so they can just refer back to it and don't have to, again, ask you. And this is also one of those things that once it is done, it is good forever. So you won't have to do any of these things again for them. It just sits there and is continuous value. But you thought that was it? You guys thought that was it? You thought I was done providing value? Well, I never will be. That is my number one goal, is to be able to actually help you guys. What if you aren't cold DMing? What if you're cold emailing or just want to send them the video via email? Then at the bottom of this document, this is where I mentioned that system earlier. I have an entire customized system I built inside of Go High Level that you can use to send out all your Looms instantly at once. So at the bottom of this, you'll see there is an entire outreach tracker. There is the system here and then the outreach workflow. So I'm going to go through here and just quickly show you guys this. So when you come in here, it'll look, here's the whole training. You've got some resources. And when you click into each one, as I mentioned, there is video trainings on how you can set up this whole system and then send out these Looms so much faster. So that is all there. But I think that is it. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you got a ton of value out of this. If you did, or you would like my help in scaling your personal brand to increase your revenue as a result of it, feel free to book a call with me or reach out on Instagram. At the bottom of the document, I have left a link to do that, as well as a link to my social media. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to be able to help you. Once again, all of the resources that I mentioned in this video are here at the bottom of the document. Please leave a comment and let me know if you did get value out of it though. And yeah, this is, honestly, really quickly, I'm going to kind of go off script a little bit and just say thank you for watching. If you are watching this, I'm honestly new to recording content in this exact way, but this is something that I have been doing for the last 7 going on 8 years now. And I am so passionate about it. I love being able to provide value around this because I believe that when you impact one person, you impact all the people that they help as a result of it. And I hold that really close to my heart. But I'm not going to make that too long. Once again, I really, really appreciate you watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.